Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I know it's been a while. We haven't posted in, what has it been, Nate?
About 10, 11 days.
Woo. And
in 2 weeks.
The anxiety is killing me right now. But we've been really busy. We have a lot of stuff that we have to finish, and Nate has been doing a lot of manual hard labor, and so it's hard to, you know, film and work, and we're just trying to catch up on a bunch of stuff. But today we are back and we have a frame job for you guys. It is a who knows what year Corolla. We don't really care. All we care about is the fact that it's clapped and it needs a quarter panel. All right, so the plan here is to do a couple of slight pulls. We need to make a pull right here in this area. As you can see, it is caved in right here. So we want to pull that out just a hair before we do any cutting, because it's going to obviously be easier to use the damaged area as a pulling point. And then also we've got no gap here. Very tight, sir, very tight indeed. And you know, it needs to be loosened up just a little bit. So we're gonna put a little pull right here on this corner, open up this gap, make sure that this gap is good and that the trunk closes good. I do believe the trunk has a little bit of an issue as well, because when it closes, it pops off to the side just a little bit. So I think the latch did get moved a little bit. As you can see right here, it did make some serious contact. So it did move the trunk lid just a little bit, but we will take care of that. So what I want to do is I want to weld a plate onto that. Excuse me. So what I want to do is weld a plate onto the inner quarter panel right there, pull that out, and then we'll move the tower over here, and then we'll move the tower over here and pull this corner out. And then once we get everything pulled out, we can go ahead and cut off this quarter panel and get the new one installed. So let's get to it. Oh, hello there, didn't see you there. So I've taken the liberty to pull everything out. As you guys can see, there is a couple of holes here that may or may not have been me being lazy, not wanting to cut it off, but it doesn't matter because this is a piece that's going to be thrown in the trash. We've got a gap here, and we've got this section right here pulled out, and I went ahead and ripped a big old hole in here just so I can get my hand in there and make sure there's no raccoons in there hiding, because I don't want to get bit. So now what I need to do, I need to go ahead and cut this bad part off. What I need to do right here is make a cut right here and then make a simple cut. I don't know how much of the new donor piece there is, but I'm really hoping that it goes past this damage right here, because I do not like fusing a brand new piece with a damaged piece. You guys know I don't like doing that. So hopefully that is on the other car. I don't want to be bondoing in this big area. I want to be doing it right here. Actually, Nate wants to be doing it right here. Ain't that right, Nate?
No.
Yeah, Nate, you're the bondo master.
Yeah, do it where you can't see it.
Oh, you want me to weld it up to where you ain't got to bondo it?
Yeah, do that.
I need to go to China and work for about 6 months. And then when I come back, I'll be able to do it. The only thing that sucks is that inner wheel well. Look at that thing. Looks like somebody's mother-in-law sat on it. That thing is creamed. Most people would just straighten that out, but not around here. We're not going to be straightening that out, because I feel like in the time that it takes to straighten that out, I can cut it off and replace it. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to replace it. I'm going to go ahead and cut this stuff off, and then me and Nate's going to help me drag the new donor piece in. We're going to get that skin off. We're going to pop this skin on, and we're going to be done. All right, so I've got everything drilled out, and I was just about to cut it, and I got interrupted. I have to, this is the second time I got interrupted on this car. Got interrupted yesterday to do something else. Now I gotta go do something else. But I don't know, should we film it? Yeah, we're gonna film it. We gotta expose these people, man. This is a fairly new Honda Civic Si. Beautiful little car. I feel like it was really I feel like it was hit really hard. So somebody told me this car was repaired by a Ukrainian refugee, and I don't know, I believe it. I believe it. If you look up in there, right there, look at that frame rail. Look, so they straightened out the frame rail, but they did not actually get the kink out of the frame rail, and there's a crack in it as well. We always like to straighten out all the kinks and weld up all the cracks, you know, that way the next time that frame rail gets hit, it does not just crumple in that zone. Because if you think about it, if it's still kinked and it takes a lick, that kink is going to be a weak spot on that frame rail, so it's going to bend very easily. But if you straighten that kink out and possibly put like a gusset plate or, you know, anything of that sort, it's going to operate the same way as the frame rail would from the factory. But that right there is no bueno. Absolutely no bueno at all. We offered to simply weld it up just to make it a little bit stronger. The man does not want to redo the framework because this right here, this would constitute a rework of this job. Like this right here is, I would say this is like 50 or 60% done. And obviously he already paid the guy. He doesn't want to pay somebody again, because I'm going to charge 3 times as what the original guy charged, because you always charge 3 times when you're redoing somebody else's work. It's not out of spite, it's simply because when you come in and somebody already buggered it up, you have to unbugger it, so you have to get paid for it. So we're simply gonna weld that crack up, and that's it. That's what he wants, that's what we're doing. He's not selling the car, he's keeping the car, so it is what it is. You ready?
Yeah.
Man, I took something into my eye in the stupidest way possible. I put my helmet on and there was something in my helmet, and when I looked up the weld, it got in my eye.
You should have been wearing safety glasses, you.
Yeah, I should have been. I should have been wearing my safety glasses inside my helmet, because I thought about that. Okay, so it's a nightmare up here. Look at this. What is that? Oh my goodness. You know what I call that? I call that 90 degrees of separation. We did not agree to weld that, so if I do weld that, I'm going to charge extra for that, simply because I see that somebody welded this right here, but they did not weld that, so we need to teach them a lesson. Also, like, look at this. This is a finished frame job. Like, this is done. Somebody took this man's money and said, "Hotobo." All right, so next thing we need to do, if you look right here, we've got a spot weld right in there. I don't know if you can see that.
What's going on in there? Why is there spot welds?
Well, the spot welds are there to hold the car together, and sometimes when you have an accident, see, here's what happened. So when this thing got hit, it took a direct hit into this frame rail, and it kinked this frame rail that way, and then it pushed all this in. So this shock tower was probably right here. You can see this was folded, this was folded. This entire drain pan right here was folded. As you can see, it was not very straightened out. And yeah, I'm not too happy with it. And then look down in there, oh gosh. You see separation on the side there. You see a lot of stuff going on. But our job is to simply weld it up and make sure that there's no cracks and no separation as far as, you know, 2 panels go. Yeah, so I welded that crack from the bottom, and where it's kinked in, I filled that up with weld. That way, you know, it'll give it a little bit of strength. It's not perfect, but you know, it's good enough for who it's for at this point, because the man didn't even care about that from when the first guy did it.
Although he didn't care about it, he never even saw it.
He never seen it. See that? Here, I'll give you guys a tip right now, man. If you get somebody to do some framework for you, you might want to go get a second opinion after it's done. I'm just saying. You know, just don't bring it here, because I'm gonna charge you 3 times.
Trash.
All right, so what do we need to do? Just finish that off, put a tag there, a tack, and then we're good. All right, so I just welded everything up, and it's all looking good. So now it's back to the Corolla. So I got the outer skin off, and I am so tempted to straighten this thing out. You guys don't even know. Like if there wasn't a camera on me, I might have just pulled a little something on it. It's almost like the BMW, man. Speaking of the BMW has been at, I'm not gonna say the name because I'm kind of mad at them, so I don't want to plug them unless I want to rag on them, and I don't want to rag on them because they still have my car. But it's been there for, what's it been, Nate? A month?
Yeah, about a month.
Every time I call, I get some sort of like little lame excuse why it's not done and what's going on with it, and so. I'm thinking we're just gonna have to go down there one of these days with some big old boys and just take it back. And just be like, give me the car back. Because we did a lot of work on it, and all they have to do is get it started. Why they got it for a whole month? Yeah. You know?
No, we had it for a whole...
I mean, we had it for a few months, but it was sitting outside. It was in the yard, you know? Nobody was really working on it. We didn't have time. We were getting around to it. There's stuff, you know, schedules.
Maybe they're still getting around to it.
Yeah. Right? No, it's just funny how... we'll tell you the story later, but just keep in mind that there's a weird, interesting situation going on with the red F80 M3, and hopefully they do right by us, because you know me, I can get pretty violent. You know, I ain't gonna shy away from violence. Herschel Walker. All right, but so what we need to do is probably go eat, because I'm starved. I didn't eat nothing. Oh, it's only 11:30. Never mind. We're not going to eat. We cannot give ourselves pleasure. This is Soviet Union. Anyway, so we need to remove this inner structure right here, and the reason why I was saying I was tempted to straighten it out, because it is something that can be straightened out. I see people do it all the time. It's not something I'm a big fan of, but instead of, you know, drilling all this out and then obviously welding it all back in, you know, it's sometimes easier to just put a couple wax on it. But the problem with that is that you can never really line up this wheel well right here, and then also inside it's going to look very butchered, and you're not going to be sitting there bondoing all that. So you know, seeing as we are getting paid for the job to do it right, we are going to do it right. We're not trying to cut any corners. We're not trying to, you know, hide anything. So we're just going to cut it off and replace it, and I think that will be the better way to go. But I actually am very hungry. You know what I want, Nate? I want some of those Supremes. Some of those. Yesterday she gave me 10 pieces instead of 5 pieces. I'm telling you, hey, that woman gonna get fired, ain't she?
That woman ain't gonna last long.
Hey,
over
she's gonna get fired because of me and Nate. Every time we go in there, she's just giving us stuff.
Yeah.
She just took the whole thing of chicken and just dumped it into my box. She said, "Did you see that?" I said, "I can live with that." Man, I'm so hungry.
Go get some food.
Yeah, let's go eat. We'll be back. All right, so we attacked the inner wheel well on in just a couple of spots. I don't really like welding the inner structure on completely solid until I test the skin. And so I popped the new door on and I tossed the skin on, and to my surprise, and mind you, I'm very surprised, the gap is looking really good. Like obviously right here it's not like perfect because we haven't even made our cuts yet, but just the door sitting on there and the quarter just kind of hanging on everything, it's looking really good, you know. So that's always a good sign because we haven't even worked it yet and it's already fitting. So that means when we do actually work it, it's going to fit, you know what I mean? So I'm very happy with that, although I have to say I'm a bit burned out. I'm sick of quarter panels. You guys know I'm sick of quarter panels. Let's count. We could count on like 20 hands how many quarter panels, well, not on 20, but we've done like 5 in the past month, and I'm sick of them. And if you bring me another quarter panel, I'm probably going to throw up. I just, ugh, man. And this one's almost like the BMW one too. And I know I do a lot of complaining, but you guys are listening, so I might as well. All right, so what we need to do now, we need to, what do we need to do, Nate?
I don't know.
I already forgot, man. I was over here complaining so much.
Weld it all up.
Forgot what I was doing. Oh
Weld it all up.
yeah. We gotta weld it all up.
Weld every bit of it.
Yeah,
up. Weld
gotta
this
weld
up
it.
too, right here. Weld that up.
You know, I actually thought about that. You know, just it's a child safety. Just it's all about child safety. You know, we gotta keep the children safe, keep them in there, keep them locked up. But yeah, I just remembered we gotta weld this quarter panel on. That's what we gotta do. We gotta weld the quarter on, and then once the quarter's welded on, we gotta bondo it. Ooh, so exciting! Looking forward to it. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and weld it on. If it fits and ships. Look at that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It ain't, how is that, man? What's going on here, man? Look like a professional did it or something. If I didn't know any better, I'd think a professional did it.
Who's professional?
Huh?
Who's professional? Who is that?
I don't know. I ain't never seen him before.
Okay.
He's one of them main characters. Man, look at that. Woo! That was a lot of work. We got the tail light on, the bumper on, everything fits super nice. Look how perfectly that fits, Nate. Why does it fit so perfectly?
Probably because you did it.
Is that, you think that's it? Nah. But I got this welded up, and I've got most of those spot welds welded up, but I do have another frame job that is a pressing concern. And so this car can be welded up on the ground, so we need to get this thing out of here. Therefore, that's why I did not finish it off. But as you can tell right here, everything is ready for welding. Right here, look at that. Look how tight that is. I may actually have to cut that. I like to have a little gappage, you know, to fill up with weld. But I've got to gusset back there, so I don't know. I think I'll just take it up real nice and weld up these spot welds, and we will be done. But the door closes real good. I have not put the seal on there, but I have faith in my framework. And so there you go. This thing is almost ready for body work. It's going to take just very minimum amount to get all of this body worked, and then the spot welds that are back here, I welded these super flat. I don't know if you can see in the video, but they're super flat. Nate, you will not be disappointed, as you will be doing the body work on this car.
I hope so.
Huh?
I said I hope so.
Oh, sir, it will be nice. Like if you look right here, this is all factory done. You can see some of the panel bond sticking out right there. But I will weld this up super flat tomorrow morning, or not tomorrow morning, it'll probably be the day after. But we'll get all that welded up super nice and get this thing in body work, probably maybe what, another day on this car, get it painted and get it out of here. And that way we can get back to what we need to be doing.
Yeah, what color is this car? Make sure Paul don't get the wrong color.
Hey, you could easily be like, okay, we got paint maroon.
Yeah.
We got white, black, maroon, and matte
blacks. Might make sure.
So it's an assortment. It's like a color palette. That way, you know, you can pick and choose what color you want. So if the owner walks in, he's all like, "Hey, I like the red, mate." So we do the red.
Yeah, we could probably do any color as long as it's black.
Yeah, we'll paint your car any color as long as it's black.